prize. Four nice runners ready to go for us tonight. Mecha Link, Dragus Cloud, Christopher Walken, and Schmitty Games. Plenty more also competing in this one, but those four we will be restreaming. I am Trenton, and I am joined tonight by Rex Rawl. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing great, Trenton. How's everything going with you?
I have no idea. I can't keep up with everything.
Yeah, it is a tricky question, but I am looking forward to this race. We got K4 today, so that's the highest level of K-ness that we can get on these weekly races, I think. So, which means that we've got regular key item spots in play, we've got summon spots in play, we have lunar monsters in play, and we also have it so that there's a possibility, trap chests are in play, and there's a possibility that we may have to go to the moon in order to get to the underground. So, things can get crazy tonight.
This is how you get chaos, and I love it. I often will play with K3. K4, the same locations, just a little bit different in the logic.
Yeah, the logic changes a little bit. It might not be that big of a difference in a lot of situations, but it could be huge. We'll find out tonight.
Yeah, it could be that one, and hopefully we'll get a harp playing. If you'll call this initial moment, I'm going to work on a technical problem in the background.
No problem. We're going to be starting off with everybody's favorite spoony bard here, Edward. Absolutely looking forward to that, and it looks like we are off. So we can see who's going to be joining Eddie today. Looks like we got ourselves a twin.
Quake Kid.
Charm Rod's a pretty nice thing to get with Palom as well. And Leviathan in the Beigen spot. We do have T4S3, kind of good stuff everywhere for treasure, so I imagine a lot of our runners are going to be starting by looting Baron, but we'll see how soon we get some divergence. One, two, three, and... Mecha is already doing a little bit of divergence and heading straight to Mysidia, as I believe... we may... I'm going to do some shopping over there first, instead of looting some chests. Ooh, a samurai bow. One of the flags that we have on here, we are allowing glitches this week, which could allow for free, unlimited money, but we're also running with everything in shops are free. So don't need to worry about your money this game. You can buy everything that you can find. And we found a samurai bow that Mega Link was able to purchase right away. That's going to make Edward a lot more formidable in the early game. Now, the main glitch that people are going to be needing, or, well, not necessarily needing, but could be using, is the warp glitch. So they could get a possible extra key item after getting the first key item in the dwarf castle.
Okay, I think I've got things sorted out. Thank you to those of you who have joined us from Randomania 1, where they were doing some Dragon Warrior Randomizer. With a lot of great randomizer content going on. We have to use multiple channels to hold it all. Fire bombs and lives are two really big items to be for sale there. Lives, of course, can be used not only to revive your party, but for getting bonus experience. But those fire bombs will do HP damage based on your maximum hit points. So a character like Yang or Sid, who happens to get a great ton of HP, can use those very effectively.
Absolutely. I remember in some of the earlier versions of the randomizer when you could buy gold and silver apples in shops easily. The apples and the firebomb strategy was one that was used on Zeramus quite a bit. But here we just got like good bows and arrows able to be get access to right away, along with those life potions. Lots of all the J items that you can use for battles early. Like the free items is very powerful.
Another big thing, though, this is J2, so we also have the skills enabled. And particularly, that tends to help Yang. But also with Palom, you've got the Bluff, which can boost magic power. That can also get you through to some tight spots.
Yeah, depending on...
We have treasures at 4, which explains why we just saw some of that awesome stuff.
Yeah, but depending on where the bosses fall, that Bluff could get through some really tough fights if we're forced to go into like Edlin Castle early or something like that. Bluff can really help in some of those fights.
Well, we have the Fabo Gauntlet keeping us from getting Rydia, but when we have 99 Gaia Drums, we're going to be able to get through this without too much trouble.
Yeah, Gaia Drums, probably one of the, like, between Gaia Drums and Stardust, I think those are the best ones to find for, like, AoE damage early in the game. They're just nuts. To get 99 of them for free, that's going to make a lot of the early battles quite trivial. Probably not going to need to bluff too much.
No, these early fights we should be in great shape for, just having the Gaia Drums. Your typical Gatekeeper ones will be an issue, obviously, if we run into a Golbez. Wyvern, questionable. We'll talk about that if we get there.
Yeah.
But any of those that you're used to being a potential Gatekeeper, those are still in play, but something like the Babel Gauntlet, it's great when you have a stack of items to just kill them all.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be a long fight. No matter how you do it, it's going to be a long fight, but it's going to make it pretty easy no matter what.
It's also going to be a nice experience to be picking up along the way, although apparently only one person surviving for Tragus.
Well, Edward's still alive too.
It's just Rydia.
Yeah, but I mean, both Mecha and Schmitty getting Rydia alive through those early fights, getting a couple levels on her is pretty important early game, because she starts off with 30 HP. Even the early bosses can one-shot her off.
Not positive, but I think Schmitty and Mecha both, and Christopher, had it set up that Rydia would join in the back row. I'm not sure if Rydia's in the back row or if it was just bad RNG for Dragus.
Yeah, it looks like she's in the back row now. I don't know if she took one hit in the front or not, but I mean, she still would just have that level 1 armor that she hasn't been getting to. That's not very protective for her.
30 HP is just not a lot, but in any event, the experience isn't that significant that you're going to worry about this. What will be interesting to me is if anybody checks the extra treasures on House. It's one of those things that's easy to overlook, but especially in T4, something could pay off. Get it early.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot, like, for me, I'll usually check it just because I love opening treasure chests, but I think a lot of runners avoid checking those, what about 4 or 5 chests over there on Westbound Hops, unless they've got somebody like a Tella who knows the exit spell or if they've found exit items, because it is a bit of a walk out of there.
In particular for this seed, if they gave you an early Leviathan or Bahamut, you'd just be oh so happy.
Yeah, that definitely makes the early Rydia a lot better. Otherwise, she could be a little bit of a liability with that low HP and doesn't really learn any powerful black magic until after Palom does. We've already got Palom.
Oh, we've got a Leviathan and a Sliff. We're doing fantastic for Rydia.
Yeah, those are good. Sylph is probably my favorite summon. I do like spamming that with the HP gain, and that's another glitch that not everybody knows about. It's not one that's turned off or on by the glitch list, but the Sylph summon is glitched in that it doesn't cost MP. You have to have enough to cast it, but it doesn't reduce the MP from her pool, and so it can do the damage, heal your party. It's pretty nice.
These early item shops have just been absolutely phenomenal. We've seen hourglasses for sale, Cure 3s for sale,
yeah, that Cure 3 is huge.
Sale, which you're not going to want too many of those, but they can do very nicely in a pinch. I think Christopher Walken, though, did not get the Gaia drums that everybody else had. He's still here in the Fabo Gauntlet.
Yeah, he's using Ice 2 on Palin to take care of the fights, but still getting through it.
Oh, and apparently Bahamut was somewhere because Dragons just used it, unless that was a grimoire.
Yeah, this is nice. I think the little advantage of these free items, these great treasures that are being found early, and everything else that's going along with it, is going to make the realization that we've got a T4 or a K4 flank going on a bit better. I did not see Mecha's screen kind of froze a little bit as to what happened up at Kabul. Did you?
That went by so fast, I'm not sure it was actually a key item. We will keep our eyes open and see if we get an inventory look at any point, which we should, because the items are going to be used very frequently. There's just no reason not to when it's your most powerful things you've got. The elements, and Schmitty wisely uses the fire and maybe didn't do anything else just because that can do more damage. Still no key items so far, so our spots in the overworld are starting to get narrow. What are you thinking at this point?
Yeah, this is the reality of the K4. You can risk all the bosses in ordeals. There's not a whole lot of incentive to go up there, though. There's one trap chest in Zot that could potentially have a key item, and the 3 trap chests in Evelyn Castle. Well, yeah, other than that, like... has anyone even gone to Antlion yet, though?
I was actually just about to ask that, because I don't think we have. So pretty much everybody go to Fabul.
Yeah, I think...
to see if they could get a character, and then went to Fabul.
I think this is another example of people avoiding plays because of the lack of exit.
Rydia does learn Warp, and it's not exit, but it's not that bad. And it really isn't a bad walkout.
Yeah, I don't think that the Antlion walk is all that big a deal.
Especially if you wanted to, you could save outside and then reset if it was nothing and get the treasures on your walk out if it is something.
Yeah, I usually think that there's so many treasures available in Antlion that I just like to loot it on a T4 anyways, so...
We are under C1 flags, which means every character is going to be available at least one time, but the biggest boosts you could get being Pasoya and Edge, they're in a little bit harder to get spot. They won't be on Mount Hobbs, they won't be here at Fairnant.
Right, but they could be in a place like the Dwarf Castle or the Tower of Zod that are behind another key item.
Okay, so we actually had the tower key from defending Fabul, so Mecha Link and Christopher Orkin will both have the tower key.
Okay, yeah, that'll make the Tower of Babel, the lower Tower of Babel, very lucrative, because there's the 2 natural key item spots, and there's, I believe, 4 trapped chests in there as well, so that's a lot of potential locations for key items. But they have to find a way underground first.
Yeah, they either have to have the hook or the magma key. Thus far, we found neither. If we don't find either of those, then it has to be the darkness crystals. So those are the 3 we are on high alert for right now.
Yep, absolutely.
Not that there are other things we don't want, but it's just one of those is going to be our progress.
Yeah, I think early game I'm always hoping to get the Earth Crystal too. Gives you access to a ton of chests in Toria Castle, and on T4 that could be super helpful, as well as 2 potential characters up at the top of Tower of Zod. So I think early in the game I always am hoping to get that Earth Crystal.
So this is a nice feature that Christopher Orkin is showing off we don't often see. This was a quality of life thing that was added with Free Enterprise, where you double click on the trash can, and then you're in a trash mode with your cursor, and you can just keep going up and clearing out inventory without having to drag each individual item to the trash can.
Yeah, and considering everything in shops are free, and you've got great incentive to open chests with the T4, that inventory is going to get clogged up, and you don't want to have to worry about whistles and fat chocobos to store items. Just throw away it if you're not going to use it. Mechalink doing a little bit of boss hunting. Heading over to the Misty Cave.
I don't mind the play at all. First of all, it's a Pasoya 2 challenge, so any bosses you clear out give Pasoya that many more spells when you get there. Get access to the treasure chests here. In T4, the faster you can get treasure chests, the better. And you might find the Mist Dragon, potentially. Which would be another possible item location.
And we've got some more divergence, as Schmitty is the first one to head to Antlion, and Quest for Warpin is making that trek up Mount Ordeals. So we've got a couple potential places where we could get a key item. There's going to be 3 bosses that Quest for Warpin is going to have to fight up at the top, and Schmitty should be able to get to the Antlion before then.
I love both plays, especially with the J items. If you're set with Gaia drums, this is not scary. You're usually going to clear it out pretty routinely. We got a lunar boss taking place of Antlion. Hey there, October.
And Dark Knight Cecil in the Mylon, the first Mylon spot. That is that's one of those fights that could be potentially very difficult depending on where it is. I think people would be relieved that it's ending up here.
Yeah, a little surprised that Christopher is taking this on. This is No Free Lunch 1, so it still keeps the script where all you have to do is take the 3 hits. And in case you forgot, now it's telling you. But if you can kill it faster than 3 turns, then that's faster.
Yeah, it looks like Quest for Warpin's got some pretty decent firepower, so I was able to take down the Dark Knight without too much trouble there.
Well, Antlion is going to be a bust, just an Ice Brand sword. So, ooh, Vavalis.
This one is a lot more interesting.
This is one of those potential gatekeepers that don't care what Japanese items you've got in your inventory.
Well, it looks like
That's an Artemis bow.
Yeah, could do some. Ooh, but a miss there. Ooh, that's going to be tough. Looks like Quester has 1 Bacchus that might be used on Edward here. We'll see. Ooh, yeah, the miss on the Fire 2 with Palin. That's rough. So yeah, this without Kane, Valvalis can be very difficult to beat. Her evasion for both magic and physical is very high in that tornado mode. And yeah, we get the reset there.
Yeah, I wouldn't fault anybody for making that play. Really, the only other option was just Berserk.
So this brings us to a pretty difficult spot here because we've got no key item at the bottom of Antlion and Valvalis guarding Mount Ordeals. Now, I mentioned there are a few trap chests that our runners do have access to that could potentially have key items. But as far as traditional key item spots, we are no-go right now.
And worth noting, while often in the lower K flags, Vavalis couldn't be guarding our progress there without having access to Kane. Totally on the table, because this is K4. This is madness. This is what everybody signed up for.
Yeah, this is no joke.
But that said, they probably have plenty of resources to take on the Flame Dog and Zot. You can just jump in there, take that fight.
Yeah, and with
if that
Hourglass,
doesn't work out, we've got the Hourglasses to do Evelyn Castle as well.
yeah, the fights in Avalon aren't going to be too difficult with the Hourglasses available. So they do still have options. Hopefully one of those will give us either the Darkness Crystal or the Magma Key or the Hook, so that we don't have to fight Valvelus in order to progress right now.
Also, from Christopher's perspective, the Antlion Cave was still unknown, so it made a little more sense to come here. Also, by the way, Star Veils here. Free wall casts if you're not familiar with the J items, so it's a very valuable pickup. The Blitz Whip, an option for Rydia.
Yeah, if you get a decent whip and a heroin roll on Rydia, she can do a lot of damage with that. Or she could summon Leviathan. That'll do a lot of damage too.
Yeah, Leviathan can do very decent damage. Has been known to happen.
Dragon's now trying to take on Valvelus in that tornado form too.
Probably 3 archers here might actually be in a little bit better shape. And I think is on Zergstrats too, so...
I believe that's Porum in the middle with the Artemis bow.
Getting the damage on as we see, but it's kind of a race against time, because eventually Vabalis is going to hit everybody with weak.
Yeah, weak and Ray both.
But the damage is adding up.
Yeah, they're kind of slow clocks that they're fighting against, but they are real clocks.
And that was a pretty free turn. That's exactly what you want Vabalis to do. There it is.
Nice.
The triple archer strats for the win.
Triple archer, 2 of them zerked.
I think all the party was zerked at the end.
Was even Eddie zerked? I missed that part. I saw Palom and Porum were both zerked.
Speaking of the Flame Dog, Mechalink is up there. I love that Dragus is taking the safety save. You're usually not going to be that worried about the last fight with only 1,000 HP. But boy, if it's Golbez, you're going to be glad you safety saved.
Yeah, you want to get... I think if the...
that was the package, I believe, from the Flame Dog.
Okay, that could be useful. We'll see. But I think if there's a gatekeeper boss like a Vabalis there, then saving after it makes a ton of sense. Now, I think the same thing, like if you're talking about like Upper Bavil, if that first boss is really difficult, you definitely want a safety save after that one as well.
And the rat tail is at the top of Mount Ordeals.
No access to that yet.
Without the hook, we can't turn it in. But it could lead to something later.
Menaka taking on the first boss, the Mega Sister slot in the Tower of Zot already as well. I guess this will make it so if he does end up finding that Earth Bristle, he could just waltz on up. But
it might also have been in pursuit of experience.
I could see that. Yeah, he's using the life potion glitch.
This is one that worked out well. He should have hourglassed and then coffined, plus you're using life glitch. This should be worth a lot. So it's kind of a good news, bad news thing for Christopher, having gotten away from the rat tail, which is not the progress item we needed, but the same time, it was a key item.
Right. So this is one of those things where we'll see how long it takes. Or, well, if the rat tail ends up being required for progression in this game, how long is it going to be before Questifer decides to go back to Mount Ordeals?
Welcome everybody from RPG Limit Break. We are so happy to have you here for some more Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, and hope you're having a great evening. We're enjoying some K4 madness, so items can be anywhere behind a fight. They can be in a trapped chest or a trapped pot, as the case may be for Schmitty. They can be behind one of our traditional bosses. They can be behind one of the lunar bosses. They can be behind one of the summon fights. We are
not a lot of the traditional bosses so far.
We are on the hunt for one of three things at the moment. Our progress in this seed relies on the hook, the magma key, or the darkness crystal. And we do not know where our key item that allows for progression is as of yet. So far, we've been a little short on finding those progress items.
Absolutely. It looks like we've got a lot of people descending on Eblin Castle right now. There are 3 trap chests in Eblin Castle. The one that we're seeing right now is the Staleman Skull up on Dragus Cloud's screen. There's also a 2 Black Cat Lamia fight and 3 Mad Ogres. Now, items are free and with the flag set tonight, and hourglasses were able to be purchased, and that should be able to help if they were able to find that shop and purchase them on these trap chests here.
So right now we've found 3 of our key items. We got the tower key from defending Fabul, we picked up the rat tail from the top of Mount Ordeal, and the flame dog trap chest in Zot held the package. It doesn't look like we found anything yet in Eblin Castle. Which, I think at this point there has to be something.
Yeah, this is the only spot left. We've checked everywhere else in the overworld, unless I'm missing something obvious, which could be. But I think between the two of us, we've got it covered.
So let's see. Schmitty should be on our last treasure chest of this castle. The other possibility would be a package turn-in leading to Mistdragon.
Okay.
Which is a really sneaky one, but it is possible.
That is sneaky. Schmitty making very good use of the J items here, using a hourglass to stop the Mad Ogres, and then just finishing it off with the coffins.
Question, is Demist Magus Sisters possible? We have actually seen that checked, and it turned out to be Dark Imps.
It's the Dark Imps at Magus, so. Otherwise...
Which, by the way, underrated play for Mecha Link. I didn't think about it when he did that, but that's why he made that play. He was looking for Mistdragon.
Yeah, that one's gotten me.
Where was our key item? Was it? It flashed by too fast, but Schmitty got something.
Maybe we'll see it on Dragus Cloud screen, but Schmitty's also got that Black Cat Lamia fight there, so between these 2 fights, there should be something. Darkness is what the chat is saying. That may very well be, but we'll confirm that in just a moment here. Oh, it's our tracker Maggie has got that indicated, so I'll trust her.
Yeah, thank you very much to Maggie, who is doing the tracking for us tonight. A rookie who comes in to do this for a K4 seed.
Yeah, this is trial by fire for sure.
So we're all going to try and keep our eyes open and make sure we're catching everything as we can.
Hey, Maggie was able to catch that darkness crystal before I could, so props there.
with Darkness Crystal, they have access to the moon. They also have access to another sneaky location, which is the trap chest in the Giant of Babel.
Yep, and either of the bosses in the Giant of Babel could be the Mist Dragon as well.
I would kind of like to see the package turn in, though.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Another Artemis bow as the reward for the Lamia Black Cat fight is pretty nice. I mean, a magma key would be a lot more. I think the runners would like that more. But with this party configuration, archery is the way to go, and those Artemis bows are the best in the game.
We're certainly going to be using archer strats, even depending on who we pick up. You could still be looking at another archer with Sid.
Or Rosa.
Or Rosa, absolutely.
Now, Dragus is going to cash in the Darkness Crystal, and it looks like it's going to be the first of our featured runners to head up to the moon.
I think that... No, Dragus did clear Mount Ordeals to get the rat tail, so has made the most progress of our runners, actually.
Yeah, Dragus hasn't been to the Tower of Zot yet, so has not found that package, but we'll see if that's something that's necessary.
That's the other reason I would like that check, is because when you're in a race situation, it's just one of those strategic things. Having something can't give you an advantage unless you use it. So the package can't be an advantage to you unless you go check the package. I know, it's one of those things that sounds ridiculous, but it makes more sense when you think about it. Right, so the moon also gives us access to another item shop at Hummingway's Cave and another character available just for walking in.
Well, Questifer is checking that package, and it looks like we've got... is that another... It's another Palom, right?
White Magic Twin.
Oh, well, I knew it was either that one or Forum, so...
Yeah. So, duplicate Wonder Twin, there'll be one duplicate in No Free Lunch. That is what this proves to be. Moon Veils for sale on the moon. How about that?
That's
Christopher sticking with this, though, is looking for the Mist Dragon to be the fight at the end.
Yeah, that's the only reason that Christopher Walken would be doing it. I mean, I guess it would power up Fusia if they found him, but this is really a Mist Dragon hunt.
And has the potential to pay off. We know there's progress via the Darkness Crystal. Who is on the moon?
Ooh, that's not an archer.
That is, however, somebody who knows the weak spell, and we have the Darkness Crystal. So, there's officially now a grind fight on the table. Now, how much you need it in a K4 is subject to question, because you're going to get a lot of experience along the way fighting through all these bosses. On the other hand, you're going to try and take on some moon bosses.
Maybe some trap chests. I don't know. This is a risky play by Dragus, but man.
There's some easier stuff if you had stone, but Tella doesn't get it.
No.
At least as I recall. I'm wrong, but I don't think Tella won stone.
Opening chest, so it looks like Dragus is going to go for the trap chest along with the bosses down here. Some of those trap chests, like that red dragon, blue dragon fight, can be super tough.
Chad asks if there's any special flags tonight. K4 is absolutely the headliner.
Yeah.
Because there's no access to the subworld at this point. Oh my goodness! How about that one? Mist Dragon is here. I don't know how you're going to win this fight, but Mist Dragon's here. So with K4, we had no access to the underground before coming to the moon with the darkness crystal, which does escalate the difficulty of the game.
Yeah, question in chat, what is the K4 flag? We've run through it a couple times, but I'll go through it real quick. Key items could be are shuffled among the random normal key item locations, the summoned bosses locations, the lunar boss locations, and trapped chests. And also in K4, there's a couple other logic changes. The big one is that we're seeing today, you are required to head to the moon before you have access to the underworld. This D-Mist fight is actually kind of interesting in this spot. Oh, and we see Moon veiling it up to just be... Oh, no.
That should make it winnable, although you can't heal.
Dragus just reflected...
Oh, did you reflect?
A Moonveil onto D-Mist. Yeah, that's going to need up. That's
Ouch.
a reef.
Okay, so the Moonveil, if you're not familiar, will not only give you wall, but it'll make you immune to physical attacks. Very powerful, and that's why Dragus was willing to take on these lunar fights, because you could make yourself immune to physical damage. The problem there is, when you reflect that, the Mist Dragon becomes immune to physical damage, which doesn't work out very well for our purposes.
Mechalink trying another trap chest on the moon. In the lunar path, there's this for Proclot Juklot, I can't pronounce this one, sorry, fight. They're susceptible to the hourglass, so that makes it a lot safer. But this is an often forgotten trapped chest.
I dare say the easiest to overlook.
Oh, I would agree with you there.
I mean, basically the only competition is Odin. Odin's probably the easiest to overlook K2.
I would also agree with you there.
Question in chat, where did he find a shop with moon veils on S3? On the moon, of course, is in Hummingway's cave. I'm not an expert on the shop flags, but I believe you always have some sort of a percentage chance for it to reach and grab one from the level above.
Yeah, and we saw that because we saw Cure 3s available in Fapul. And that's one that's typically needing at least underworld access in order to see.
On S2, that would be true. Once you're talking S3, it's going to be anywhere.
Ah, okay. Then maybe it's just my luck that I only see them underground.
Well, yeah, they can just be annoying like that.
It looks like Dragus is all moon veiled up. Did not reflect it this time. Oh, Mecha fighting a random fight.
Probably looking for the levels, I would guess. Nobody but Dragus and Schmitty cleared ordeals, so they have Tella's full range of spells. If you don't have that, you're kind of in a little low-level situation here. And we don't have sirens, so there's no reuse here. But if you wanted levels, you could take Tella to the D machines. Other than not an option for Link without completing mount ordeals, and there are runners who just don't like to go through 3 bosses. They don't have to. And they don't have to until they know they have to. On Dragus' side, you'd love to Zerk this fight, but you really just can't afford to because you're going to get counterattacked every time you hit the mist. and even if it won't hurt through the moon veils, it's just going to cost so much time that it's not worth it.
The mist still does hit through the moon veils because that's not a physical attack and it's not reflectable, but it's not a very damaging attack because...
Yeah, well, we're under-leveled. I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah, I still don't think it's worth the risk, but it's not... I believe it's based on Rydia's HP.
Although, did Dragus not pick up Slip? Because I might give that a try here.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But Rydia's got I believe Rydia's got an Artemis bow, so we can do quite a bit with that too. So.
You could also pull out these grimoires. Try and get Bahamut or something big like that.
Yeah, I can definitely see doing that with somebody like Tella, yeah. Mecha went into Cave Bahamut and looks like found the lunar dragons at the in the boss spot there, so let's see what strategy Mecha takes here. Looks like they hit like trucks. Did Mecha go to Hummingway's cave and find the...
Yeah, they're there. 99 moon veils.
Okay. Okay, yep, there they are.
That opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, for people who have watched the League, we know the D-Lunar Breath Reflect strategy has been one that's become very popular. The thing is, with Dragus's fight, this fight is extremely safe at this point, but that's a lot of damage you have to do at low levels.
Yeah, the one thing I would counter with when it comes to safe is that it's a giant time loss, and if somebody has been bold enough to go level up before taking on this, they're getting through it a lot faster than you.
There's the breath reflect over on Mechalink's screen, and those D-Lunars are going to be a lot less scary at this point.
Definitely, they'll be pretty trivial now. So we're kind of in a holding pattern until somebody explores some ground we've not seen yet. I'm not sure what that'll be. The only thing we really have access to that no one's gone to yet is the Giant of Babel. So the one treasure chest there, which we could absolutely defeat.
Yeah, last arm isn't too difficult to fight it by any stretch of the imagination. That's another one that's up there for most forgettable trapped chest.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mechalink is actually done first, just because I think this one sets up better.
That may be.
Range of options. You can Zerk, you can Bell, you can do whatever you have access to.
Yeah, those fights that Mega did also got Palom to learn Quake, so that's huge as well.
That's an enormous difference, but we've got the grimoires. There are options here. But either our runners didn't pick them up or just are not making use of them in this fight. But when you're under-leveled, there's a lot of ability for those to pick you up.
Yeah, even if it's just like a Titan or a Jin, that's often, especially in the case of Tella, it's going to do better than most of what he can do.
If you don't have Tella's spells, absolutely.
Well, oftentimes, even if you do, because if you're going to charge up like a Fire 3 from Tella, that charge time is so long compared to item use on a Grimoire. And Tella's magic stat is... I don't know what kind of equipment they've found for him to pump up his black magic, or if they're tweaking him as a white magic. I mean, that's the thing about Tella. Like, there's not a ton of items that do a huge boost to both sides of the magic, other than like adamant armor. So if you're gonna put a white life staff on him, then he'll do fine healing, but his black magic is really going to suffer because his base stats are very low.
Well, the value in Cave Bahamut is only going to be the big bomb today. We do not have a key item, and we are waiting to see what the Mist Dragon has. We have this spot, first of all.
Yep, the pale dim spot.
Yep. You check with Rydia's mom to see about a second item, potentially. And Dragus didn't even get Quake out of that fight. That feels like a ripoff. The Luca Key.
That is maybe the least useful item of all of them. Well, I mean, Legend Sword accepted, but
well, in,
with access, with
glitches on, that is absolutely the most worthless one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it opens up a door grind, but I don't think anybody's going to be looking to do a door grind with this configuration today.
No, you'd be more likely to use Sirens in the Moon, the reuse.
I think, yeah, like King Ryu's eggs or the D Machine are all on the table here.
There's a time and a place for doors, and it's when you don't have the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah.
And you do have the pass.
I also like it with a very fast Rosa who has access to the wall spell to reflect that disrupt. But
alright, let's see how this goes for Mecha Link, who should be set up a little bit better than Dragus was to do this fight. Also, how long is it going to take Dragus to go back to Earth to check what Rydia's mom is holding on to?
Yeah, I think this might be one of those Dragus is like, I better do this while I remember it. Gotta get this chest out of the way. I can't blame anyone for that. Plus, this might get him the XP for Palom to learn that Quake spell, since he didn't get it, as you noted, against D-Mist.
Well, you have to live through it first. Nothing wrong with getting it down to one enemy first, however. And nothing wrong with using Leviathan to clear them out a little bit faster.
Leviathan can be handy like that.
Is that a samurai shield thing? Not a key item in any event, it would have been yellow.
Yep, samurai shield. Confirmed.
So right now, it looks like the play is who's going to be the first to check something different. Are you brave enough to go deeper into the moon? You've got the moon veils, which can get you by a lot of bosses.
And a lot of the trap chests. That makes behemoths a lot less scary.
Still at very low levels, however.
Yeah, that red dragon with the heat ray is still going to be scary.
Looks like Christopher Warken is going to opt to go for Giant of Babel.
Yeah, and Dragus is not checking Mist, heading back into the lunar subterranean, it looks like.
Well, it's only one spot on Earth versus a lot more here on...
Oh yeah, I mean, going to Earth is a gamble, but it's like one of those where if it pays off, it could be huge. Mecha using Blink instead of the Moon Veils here on the D-Mist fight. That's one of those things where since you've got that time while the Mist Dragon is in its Mist form that you're not attacking, you can just afford to, get everybody linked up, and that could be a very safe way of doing this fight as well.
So, by the way, also, we don't talk about this much, but there is a character recruitment spot if you complete Giant of Babel, because it's where Kane would join.
That is true.
It is an option if you're looking for somebody a little bit more durable than we have.
That is one of the least often seen character checks in Free Enterprise, I must say. But Quest for Workin has found the last arm. And we'll see if this bears fruit.
Again, with K4, this is one of the eligible spots for one of our key items to be. Dragus is working through the lunar bosses and finds Dr. Lugi.
Yeah, it looks like Dragus was more concerned with the bosses, skipping the chest, not checking the trap chest on the way down. I think this is actually a pretty smart choice. I think the bosses, at the levels that he's at right now, the risk of that red dragon, I think, is looming over him, because those heat rays are still going to do a lot of damage. So,
let me add one more thing to the smart play category. Getting down to this save point, it's a little more central and easier to get to the various boss locations from it.
I'm okay with you adding to my smart play points, as long as you're agreeing with me.
Alright, the last one is down. It's
the
hook!
That's huge! Oh, but Quest for Workin is the only one of our runners, oh, not the only one, but did not go up Mount Ordeals. He reset out of the Valvolus fight, so does not have access to the Rat Tail.
But does now have access to another character spot.
And can get to Upper Babel and get to the Underworld through there.
Also, 2 more trapped treasure chests that way, the Staleman and the Mad Ogres.
Absolutely, yeah. This is now, I'm guessing Questfor is going to be heading down to the Underworld, but we'll see.
College Razorback, thank you so much for subbing to Randomania, showing the support. They're a great partner for all these randomizers and bringing this content, and happy to see them get the support. Thank you so much. And I love the play for Christopher to take advantage of what you have. It's a chance to explore ground that nobody else can get to. Well, if that gives you the crystal, then that is a... I don't want to say impossible advantage for anyone to overcome, but boy, it's huge.
Well, and it's one of those things where I think most of the runners know that that last arm is... that Trest is not one of the ones that's often thought of early.
I also mentioned, get a free character doing this, so who will that be? And is it some... We know it's not going to be a duplicate at this point. There's only one duplicate. We've already seen it via the package. So whoever's here is going to be a different party member.
And so it's going to be better than Edward.
Depending on your definition, but... technically would still be Dark Knight Cecil, so I would have to give Edward an advantage over Dark Knight Cecil.
That's true, but only in one sense, because it might end up being better, because that might give the incentive to Quest for Workin to actually complete Mount Ordeals and get that rat tail. Of course, we don't know whether or not that's important, but it might be.
Also, the Sirens here in Evelyn, so very nice find. I don't think you want to spend a lot of time grinding in these seats, but you know, getting 10 levels that might take you 3, 4, 5 fights, that's nothing, and it's worth it. Artemis Arrows is also worth it.
Yeah, that's going to make, since this is the Archer party right now, that's going to make them much better.
Chat asked if we have seen Rydia's mom check yet. We have not. Christopher did not defeat the Mist Dragon.
Nope. And Mecha's not heading back to the Blue Planet either. Oh, wait.
I didn't see if Drag has turned up anything from the Luge fight. I don't think so. Here's Mylon Z.
And that's in the Lunar D's spot, right?
Oh, whatever. It's Mylon Z. You just hope you have fire or holy. Very fun to see the Crystal Sword damage against Mylon Z. The other day was watching someone do a run and they had a level 1 Paladin Cecil with the Crystal Sword, Mylon Z in the Bygone spot. 9999 damage. 9,090
Nice.
damage. So the Staleman cleared here for Christopher. This is important because this is one of our potential spots. It's the Crystal Sword.
Oh, speaking
Meanwhile,
of which,
Mecha Link giving us the Rydia's mom check. It's the Earth Crystal.
Does open up a couple characters at the top of the Tower of Zot, a treasure room that probably isn't as needed at this point of the game as it would have a little bit earlier, but still available, and an additional potential key item spot. Now, Mecha has already cleared out the Dark Elves, so can just waltz right up to the top of the Tower of Zot whenever he feels like it.
We have Mylon Z down, so we're about to get a look at 2 characters, and it's Kane for Christopher Walken.
And that's an Octomam in the in the Rubicante spot. As long as Christopher went to that shop on Hummingways and got those moon veils, Octomam should not be a problem.
No key item guarded by whoever that was. Mylon Z.
It looks like the Baron key.
Was it? I saw the Protect Ring. I didn't think I saw yellow.
It's on our Tracker Maggie says we've got it. Well, we've got an Ogopogo check here.
Hi, Odin. Maybe the scariest boss that we could find at this point.
Yeah, that's not trivial.
Vulnerable to lightning, so Lit 3 is nice.
Yeah, but Tella's already down.
Well, then there's that. You can Moon Veil if you're willing to sacrifice a turn, but that's tough to do against Odin because if you get Odin, it's a bad day.
Oh well, Palom already has Lit 3, so yeah, I got a 9999 there. Well, the sword is up.
You know doom is impending. And rest in pepperonis.
Yeah, that is a very tough fight in that spot.
You need to be able to deal significant damage quickly, and right now the party just not equipped to do that. Meanwhile, behemoths.
And yeah, not surprisingly, using the moon veils to protect against the nasty physical counterattack that the behemoths employ.
We have just got so much stuff if we find different characters.
Oh yeah. That's
Paladin
T4
Cecil
for you.
would be all set. Edge would be in great shape. Soya doesn't need equipment. And speaking of Soya, the first of our Earth Crystal spots.
Now, Uncle Mott found.
Are you getting rid of Edward going all mage?
I would.
Though we know that it has to be a non-mage because Rosa is the Sand Ruby character. And that Dark Knight Cecil?
It is. Mecha also has not completed Mount Ordeals.
Now, getting rid of food, Tella here is, I would actually say, not as automatic as it first seems.
Yeah, I agree it's not automatic, but I think I would make the same decision that Mecha did.
I'm going to reverse myself. I was going to say Tella with all his spells is not as an automatic decision. You might get rid of one of the Wonder Twins when Tella's got his spells, but if you haven't done Mount Ordeals yet, then Soya is just a pure upgrade.
I don't know if I'd agree with you there. I think you've got Quack Boy, who's on your team, and right now Porum's your chief white mage. I mean, you do have Fu, but I'd really like to have a white mage that has more than 190 MP.
Oh, we haven't seen Soma drops yet, but actually glitches are on so you can MP Underflow too, and the pan for Dragus Cloud in one of the Behemoth chests.
I think the CPU is one of the weirdest bosses. It just seems so out of place in most of the spots. Uh-oh, the Gaia Drum killed the attacker and defender, but not the CPU. There it is, Globe right. 199.
With the HP in this spot, though, I'm not going to feel too bad about it, especially if you've got a Leviathan. Hey, there's our Dragon Chest.
Yeah, Red-Blue Dragon is not an easy fight. Oh, and there's the quick reset.
That's an interesting reset. I think that also cost you the pan.
Yeah, gonna have to fight that behemoth again.
It's probably at this point worth mentioning that there is a logic programmed into the randomizer where when you talk about this big pool of potential item locations like the moon, like a Slith Cave, which has so many trapped treasure chests, it can have more than 3 items, but it's designed to be resistant to having more than 3 items. So if you're starting to logic through this at the moon, once you found the pan, the hook, the Luca key, it starts to look a lot less likely that our progress further is going to be on the moon. That's not to say it can't be, but less likely to be.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, but at this point for Dragus, since he hasn't gone to the Giant of Babil and fought the last arm check, he doesn't have the hook. So the question is, like, I can see if you've got underworld access, you found 3 key items on the moon. Now you might want to go to a place like the Tower of Babel, the lower tower with all the trap chests there, or the Sylph Cave, another place where you could find multiple key items. But how likely is it that you're gonna nope out of there to go to the last arm chest? That's the question.
I'm not sure about the question in chat, but we did find a crystal sword. It was in one of the trapped treasure chests. I didn't make a note of it because it's not a key item. We definitely have that, and we've seen a couple of Excaliburs already as well.
Oh yeah. And item duplication is allowed in this flag set. So if we find Edge, we can, and we have Cecil who can equip the Excalibur, then we could have a bunch of Excaliburs to dart.
It might even be a case where you just go ahead and duplicate the Excaliburs when you have the option to. And then
Sure.
found a Bahamut here on the moon. And then whether or not you have Edge show up, it doesn't really hurt anything to just have one item inventory spot taken up.
Yeah, I don't think it's as much about the inventory slot that's taken up as much as the time it takes to get into the random battle, do the glitch, and leave. I mean, it's only 10, 15 seconds or whatever, but people think about that.
Looks like for Schmitty it was Tella and Edward to go bye-bye. Make room for Kasoya and Cecil.
And this is Baigan in the Wyvern spot. Worth noting, Dragus did not re-fight that Bahamut, or sorry, that Behemoth to re-get the pan.
Baigan is one of those, I think he's easy to take for granted because you're so used to fighting him early. But when you put him in a high HP situation, yeah, find out what Dragus did, that it's not always fun.
Yeah, and this spot has a pretty high physical attack, and those arms hit often and hit hard.
So Dragus has now done more exploration of the moon than anyone. Hasn't paid off in the key item front, although the pan is right now the biggest potential advantage.
I would definitely agree. Well, the Baron Key too.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime you've got a place you can go that nobody else can. What was that? The Dorfix.
And the Baron Key does have a couple of key item locations behind it, with that oft-forgotten Odin spot included in there.
Yeah, so 3 spots in a character. I love it, the Grimoire strats. Pulling up a summon so it can go right through Baigon's wall. Quake, of course, also doesn't care about wall. If you did MP Underflow on Tella, you can do Meteo as well.
Yeah, and a lot of the J items, like Stardust, also avoid it. Well, Stardust and Gaia Drums. Again, the better ones.
Yeah. Fire bombs, lit bolts also will.
Oh, sure, the ones, the HP-based ones.
Yes. You're not going to get a lot of damage out of them in this spot, so Grimoire is the superior play for sure here.
Yeah, but sometimes with those grimoires, you get an Odin or a Chocobo.
Did the chat say we saw the Magma Key? Was that the rat tail chest? Must have been. We haven't done a fight yet.
Yeah, it looks like. And if you're already underground, that's kind of.
Okay, chat confirming that for me. Thank you. Always good to have extra eyes when you've got 4 runners, much less on a K4 seed. Hey, there's our silk webs. That's probably the last missing item of high value. The silk webs are worth casting slow twice. Zeus Gauntlet, oh my, that's great for your melee characters. Boosts the strength, gives you more damage on the attacks.
Yeah, for your heavy armor users, or just for your frontline beaters, that is the arms armor that you want to get.
At this point, we've not seen Yang or Sid.
Yeah, or Edge.
Or Edge. So we've got Giant of Babel.
And Rosa. Oh no, Rosa's in.
Rosa's the same.
Right? Yeah.
Rosa's the Sanderby. And Dwarf Castle, our other spot we've not seen yet. So 1 in 3 chance Dwarf Castle gets you Edge.
And also with, we're going to hope that Christopher Walken remembers the warp glitch before or after defeating the boss as well.
Yeah, this is a 2-item location when you use warp.
And I don't remember what level Talon learns it, but Rydia learns it very early.
It's good to play some flags that aren't necessarily your favorite ones that you want to do all the time, just so that you stay sharp with certain things like the warp glitch.
And Becca fighting that last time going to be rewarded with. That's going to be Mylon, the first Mylon, since we've already seen Mylon Z.
Yep. White Spear was guarded by Bygone, so great for Kane, who Dragus doesn't have. Christopher Walken could use it, though.
Ooh, Dragus exiting out. Not fighting that behemoth again to re-get the pan. Unless we missed it, he did save after fighting that behemoth, but I didn't notice that.
Boy, that could be big.
I mean, it's one of these things where it's like, we don't know whether or not that's a big deal or not at this point.
Yeah, we also didn't see Dragus get past the Double Dragon Trap Treasure Chest, so that's 2 spots you know you're leaving behind.
You're right, reset out of the Billy and Jimmy fight, that's for sure. Schmitty now, finds the double red dragon. Gonna try to take it on though. Has Fusia on the party, so that's gonna help. Even though Fusia took almost 1700 with 1 hit.
Yeah, that damage can be rough, but Leviathan should do nice damage here. Yeah, that's nice damage, I would say. Zergstrat's on Cecil with probably a crystal sword. Or Excalibur, if not. But that's now over 8,000 damage on each dragon. And as long as Rydia gets this Leviathan off, I think we're okay. Here's Yang. This was Dwarf. Very interesting, choosing Rosa to be the one to go away. Still has Edward.
Chose Rydia to go away.
Yes.
Rosa still
kept Edward over Rydia.
Yeah, I can't agree with that decision, but especially since we've already seen like I guess Questover hasn't got once again. Questover hasn't completed Mount Ordeal, so hasn't seen the evil wall yet, and Edward can cheese the evil wall really easily.
Yeah, there's also the Golbez fight where you can get away with things, and you can also get away with things against Odin using Hide. So there's a couple bosses where that works out, but
yeah, I think
if I had Leviathan, I'm taking Leviathan over Edward.
I agree. Because if you want to use an archer, Rydia can be an archer too. So
Rydia can be a better archer because you can equip heroin.
That's true. Yeah, the attack boosting equipment draw is not very good for Edward. The black belt, I think, is probably about the best that he can do. And like when you're thinking about
here's somebody else's thoughts on what caused you to think that. So Pinktail was the second item,
and Questover Walken does have the hooks, so that is a suit of adamant armor right there.
Did you already see the first, or was that the warp first? Warp first. Okay.
Warp first. Okay. He remembered warp, so that's important.
Absolutely.
Oh, the pass. I mean, technically not required because we've already got the darkness crystal, but depending on where the crystal is found, that could be a nice shortcut.
Well, it's looking very unlikely that it's on the moon at this point. And I say that just because we've seen 3 items on the moon already. Exits for sale. And if you don't have somebody who can cast it. So easy for your inventory to fill up when it's T4. Because you're getting all this good stuff and you're like, well, what if I find this character? What if I find that character?
I think adding the $3 flag also makes inventory management, because it's like, oh, I might as well buy that item because it's free. Oh, I might as well buy that item because it's free. Oh, I might as well buy that one. And that does eat up spots too.
Chad pointing out that the 3-item thing is for treasure chests, which fair enough, but also we've seen all but 2 bosses now. No, actually, didn't we see them all go down?
The only one that we haven't seen is the Odin in the Ogopogo spot.
Okay,
we defeated.
You're right. So there's only one potential spot on the moon left. Well, there's that and the double break. So there's 2 potential spots on the moon. So if you want to talk odds, the odds are greater that it's away from the moon than on the moon. And also, not a guarantee, and I'm not meaning to say that it is, I'm just saying if you're trying to play odds. Christopher now looking for the trapped treasure chest that is in this cave. There is one. You don't want to take anything for granted right now. Chat says Dragus does in fact have the pan, so that's good. That's actually Maggie.
Okay, so there was a save after that. That's...
That was one of
That's
our
good.
big questions because it's obviously got a lot of potential value right now.
Well, depending on how soon Dragus gets to the last arm fight, but we'll see. The Baron Key. I mean, we know that the magma key is underground, so the last arm is required to get underground.
I'm curious if Kasoya does not have stone, or if Mitty is not using it, wanting to life glitch these enemies.
I saw at least one life glitch in that fight, so
Yeah, there were a couple. I was just curious if that was maybe the reason stone wasn't used. Stone will work on all human-type characters. It's not 100%, but it's highly accurate. So when in doubt on the moon, you can fight the witches and the carries and just use stone to get rid of them.
yeah, those carry warlock fights are a potential grind. Like if you can, if you're not confident enough in taking on the King Ryu's like in the lower area, you can fight Ryu's and carries in the top couple floors, and
Looks like
take him out easy.
Bomb was the fake king, and Christopher Walken has now found the warrior chest.
Yeah, we'll see if either of these pays dividends.
Mecha just got something. It was yellow, but I couldn't see what it was. But Mecha now has something via that trapped treasure chest. So,
Well, quest for work and getting the Quinn Heart.
High alert for that, because there aren't that many choices left. The spoon is left: Legend, Adamant, Sand Ruby, Twin Heart, and Crystal. Chat says Adamant Rock. Alright, I'll buy that for $1. And Sid, Vanilla.
There
He's
goes
gonna take that over Tella, which is interesting with
Eddie.
Kasoya.
Yes, Eddie seems to be crawling up players' depth charts.
Mecha Link took the hook path, was still with Dark Knight Cecil. That surprises me.
Yeah, that is unusual. Just does not want to fight the 3 bosses on Mount Ordeals.
I mean, most bosses were just gonna make trivial at this point. At that point, Sand Ruby is our reward for saving the castle.
That will grant somebody Rosa if they want her. Looks like Dragus wants her.
So does that just leave us Giant now? And that's where Edge has to be.
I'm thinking. Because I often forget a spot.
There.
But I think you're right.
Because we had it to 3 for Yang, Sid, and Cecil. Now we've seen all 3. That's an interesting point of view. Pushwall bringing up the idea, maybe the thought is leave Cecil Dark Knight, then get a level 1 Cecil to slingshot levels. Although that's not usually who you do that with, since having Cecil mean that's who Ramos' agility is going to be based on.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the great equipment and an overleveled Cecil, he can almost solo Zero.
Chat, are you ready for this? Are you ready?
Yeah, our buddy Christopher is being a pal.
It's gonna happen.
The magnetic field is in effect.
Dragus, meanwhile, picks up the Earth Crystal. I was just about to ask for hype in chat, and then Scala Kitty delivered before I could even ask. Thanks, Scala Kitty.
Schmitty fighting the behemoth that we know will have the pan. I believe this is the behemoth that has the pan, if I recall correctly.
Mechalink, meanwhile, is in Babel to look for 3 trapped treasure chests. Also the cannon room as a location, and the boss at the top of the tower.
Yeah, definitely a very high density spot of the places that are left. That's one of the biggest, that one in the Sylph Cave.
Absolutely. So here's the first of our trapped treasure chests.
And now it's time for DJ Spoony B's Rockin' Tunes.
One of the popular questions people get into on Discord is what to do when you don't have Siren's Darkness Crystal or Luca Key, and my answer is usually you can either look for Clappers in Slip Cave, or you can come to Babel like this, look for those treasure chests, and you can farm them the same you would as the D machines, just for a lot less experience. But in a pinch, they work. Gotta love that Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, well, once again, the seed that I'm commentating on has Chrono Trigger music. Not that I'm complaining, but I get it a lot.
Well, there's several of them in the mix.
Yes.
Here's Antlion. I don't think Antlion's gonna be too serious. Counter's not gonna do enough damage. Also worth noting at this point that they do get an experience boost at 10 key items, so our runner's getting close to that point. Alright, what do we have?
Hoping for the crystal, because I always like a required twin harp.
Yeah, the spoon, pretty low value, because, again, are you going to go giant Babel just to get edge? Which, in a glitched seed, he's got enhanced value in my opinion, because if you can throw Excaliburs all day long, that's probably going to outdamage even Berserking.
Yeah, probably depends on the level because of the speed factor, but I think most of the time that's probably right.
It's also great if you have that ability early and then you run into some CPU or Bygone and you can throw Excaliburs straight through.
Oh, I've always maintained that Edge early is super great because of his versatility, and the dart is, especially in a flag set like this where you can have those Excaliburs that dart ability is very much appreciated in a lot of places early in the game.
So we wait to see what King and Queen Evelyn are going to give us. Let me run through what we've seen so far. The tower key was obtained from defending Kabul. The rat tail was at the top of Mount Ordeals. The package was the Flame Dog Trap treasure chest in Zot. The Darkness Crystal was one of the trap treasure chests in Evelyn Castle. D-Mist was on the moon and gave us the Luca key immediately. Rydia's mom gave us the Earth Crystal. Let me hold up for a minute and we find out what we got on the top of Tower Babel. White shirt. If you took the Darkness Crystal to Jaina Babel, the last arm gives the hook. The pan is on the moon in a behemoth chest. The magma key, rat tail chest. Luca key is dwarf. If you warp, the king gave us the pass. Adamant is in the hook accessed trapped Babel chest. Sand Ruby for saving Baron Castle, and Spoon was at the Twin Harp.
Alright, there's going to be a test on that later. So get ready, chat.
We've seen every character except Edge, and he is hiding. Just chilling behind the fights of the China Babel. Have we seen another item out of the trap treasure chests here?
I don't believe so. But we will see whatever the reward is for the tower key when Mecha leaves Babel here.
Get the one at the top in the cannon room is after you are leaving.
Ooh, there was still another left.
Soft locks. You can re-enter Tower of Babel despite seeing the explosions. And it looks like Dragus is going to go for the Odin spot. I love it.
Yeah, this is, again, using your strategy. If you've got access to it, it's not an advantage if you don't use it. And that Rubicante in the Odin spot.
Well, it's interesting.
It really is.
Probably in good enough shape to melee damage here, but if you're able to get the ice threes off, they'll work really nicely as long as the cloak is open.
Yeah, there's the quad 9s with the ice 3 from Rydia, so that'll help.
I couldn't see the item. Frame skip there. It went by so quick, I'm inclined to think it wasn't a key item.
Ooh.
Chat says no, it's okay. So, we're getting down to it. We've got the Leviathan Asura spots. I don't think we've seen a full exploration of Cliff Cave, and we've not seen the second item from Yang's wife.
Have we seen a partial self cave in the first item from Yang's wife? Did I miss all of that somehow?
Somebody went to talk to Yang's wife, but I don't think we've seen anybody in the Slip Cave yet. Really
Yeah, I don't remember anybody going in there, but I'm trying to watch 4 screens at once, and sometimes I miss things.
Absolutely. They keep you on your toes. An Excalibur, because we didn't have enough of those.
Yeah. Now with Dragus, it's all about, I think, because he's pretty much exhausted what he can do so far. He can either go back and try more trap chests on the moon, or He's got that Ogopogo spot still looming over him. Will he remember the last arm fight?
The thing about not having many options is you don't have many places you can go.
That's true. But it's one of those things where it's like, the fact that the hook is in such a tricky to remember spot, that last arm is easily
still not
forgotten.
going to go Mount Rodeo. We've gone there and going back to the moon. So this is K4 at its finest, and now we're 30 minutes in and we still have no idea what the crystal could be. It's not like we're working a chain, it's just we genuinely we've got too many spots left.
Oh yeah.
I think we're still talking 9 or 10 spots for it to be in. Actually 11, because I'm forgetting there's 2 moon fights we haven't seen the end of yet. Not to mention there's the rat tail thing. See, this is why I say don't do math while live on Twitch.
Yeah.
I should just start listing the spots and then just go with whatever then. So we've got 2 on the moon, we've got the rat tail, we've got the trapped treasure chests in Slith Cave, the item the Sliths will give you after you hit Yen with the pan, the first item from Sheila, the second item from her, and I think that's covered.
And then however many trapped chests are left on the lunar subterranean that haven't been checked yet.
I was thinking we only had 1 left. I may be wrong. Entirely possible. It's happened today.
Oh yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Magma key pickup for Mecha Link that much closer to 10 key items.
Dragus giving these red Ds another shot now.
Also, you can see on Schmitty's side just how high the levels tend to get in K3, K4 without any kind of dedicated run. So we were talking about that earlier. I was saying I might do one just for a few levels to make some of those fights easier to get started, but you don't want to do a big grind before you go out.
Yeah, and we saw Mechalink fight one random fight on the moon. That kind of served as a mini grind.
Hey, you got your Quake. That's what it took. Alright, so here's Schmitty versus Odin. This is one of those we did not see the result of yet. Boy, if this is the crystal. Bahamut is a little bit more firepower than this one.
We have the Magus Sisters in the Ashura spot here.
It's a very interesting spot for them to be. Like you've got Bahamut, Leviathan, Quake. Do alright. Kasoya might even be full power to have Meteo. This is a non-trip spot to use Meteo in. Oh, it was a light sword for him. Cecil might actually live through this Odin by the way. If it gets that far. With 3,000 hit points.
That would be something.
Yeah, that's considerable considerably more of an arsenal.
Yeah, a lot more firepower at this point.
It is the crystal!
There it is! And right next door to Zeramus, too.
You're still probably going to want to walk back and save, Or not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
What do
well,
I know?
think... Not opening chest, just beelining it right to the boss.
Can you believe
Wow.
what a difference it makes just to have the levels going there? Because Schmitty was not the first of our runners on stream to go there. Just to help chat feel better. No, it's just a long flag string. We do have the Z flag. Don't panic. Don't panic, chat. Don't panic. It's okay. It's okay. You do not need to riot against Penguinator. It's just a very long string because it had basically everything on it, including a W2 flag we didn't get to see because we didn't see Wyvern. What we do get to see is Schmitty versus Zuramos. Be interesting. Now Cecil can take a full-powered Big Bang, so there's that. Fasoya and Palom are also in all likelihood living through a Big Bang.
Yeah, it kind of depends on equipment, luck, and whether or not the Big Bangs can be nerfed at this point.
Which those options are there. With the two black mages, you're often going to go with the reflect nuke strats. And there we go. Now it's on. So one of the things you want to do when you're in this fight is not cast your spells too soon, or else they won't count. And my tip for doing that is watch for the name change. Wow, that's a fast. That's fast. The slow got in, so this is a nerf Big Bang, but wow, that's fast.
And Rydia survived it, so that's great.
Yeah, it was absolutely a nerfed Big Bang. The first one, your timing isn't that important. It just has to go off before the Big Bang. After that, you're looking for the window in between the shake and the Big Bang cast.
And we did get a slow off, so the next one shouldn't come quite as fast as the first.
Yeah, that's why it's great to actually nerf with slow, especially the first one.
Yeah, slow or a Silk Web is a great opening.
Okay, there's the shake. So if you're going to nerf the Big Bang, you want to hit either with a direct nuke, just anything that would trigger a counter nuke. So you can cast nuke, you can use virus, you can use Bahamut, you can also use a Silk Web or cast slow.
Not able to get
what I'm talking about. There's just not a lot of turnaround time to nerf this Big Bang.
So this one's full powered.
Rydia still lived.
Yeah, but Porum did not. And Rydia's virus goes up, which is going to proc the counter nuke right now.
Rydia's tried to do virus to get the counter and nerf it, but that timing is just really tight.
The black hole is nice here because that's going to give a little bit more time to regroup before the next Big Bang.
The play, I think, here, my opinion, is when you see that shake, you might even want to store somebody's turn for it and use the Silk Web instead of trying to cast a spell. Assuming you have Silk Webs, which can't take that for granted. But oh my, just consider this. Schmitty did not do the safety save. If this goes too badly, you have to refight Odin as well. It's a shake. Use the silk web. Use the silk web.
Not trying to counter, just not trying to nerf this at all. Just healing up before the Big Bang.
There it is. Yeah, you've got to do it right away with how fast this is. But also with the wall strats, the other thing that's important is all those spammed Cure 4s are healing. So, you miss. Here has probably picked P. That's another nuke's worth, basically. Schmidt, he might that is, and I wonder if just you'd be right even with a Dwarfax or Drain Sword. You'd want 54-55. But still, Schmitty's able to hang in there. This is not over. What you're worried about is a crit Big Bang that takes out everybody but Cecil.
That might be what's at start here.
Could be it.
Oh, Fu is still on his feet.
I think Schmitty might have used an apple on Fu at some point, and if so, that's paying its dividends now. I think we've already passed the point where Schmitty wishes that a save had been laid down.
Good point.
So you're really committed to this one instead of maybe trying to reset and do a different strategy. Which the damage has been there, several nukes off so far, so I don't try and count as we're going, but I would assume Schmitty's over halfway there in the damage total.
That very well could be, but these black holes making the Cecil be re-up on those moon veils too, just making it hard to
worry
get
about moon veil right now.
Yeah, it looks like we're going berserk strategy from here on out.
Yeah, what I would be looking for is right there. Get the silk web. If Porum's turn is up, use the silk web.
Nope, going for a heal instead.
Okay. That's what I would have liked there. Right now, Mumus is at full speed. Silk web, you'd not only get the slow back, you'd get 2 of them. And this Big Bang would have been nerfed. Wouldn't have saved Palom, but you wouldn't be worried about Porum going down either. So Porum survives. Oh my!
That is an unfortunate roll.
That's what you're worried about when you're not nerfing the Big Bangs, and Schmitty does the reset.
Oh.
Which, it's all you can do. Ramos was just too fast. So now, looking at the agilities, well, it does matter. It's all about Cecil's agility. Do you have a Drain Sword? Do you have a Dwarfax or a Cursed Ring?
Yeah, that sort of thing, and plus, remember, has to fight Odin again.
That is absolutely non-trivial. But Schmitty does obviously have the tools to take out Odin here. Dragus should as well.
Yeah, this definitely gives Dragus the chance to catch up, and because Dragus was actually the first one to Odin, but was at too low a level to take him out at this spot. But we'll see. This has become a lot closer of a race between our featured runners right now.
Here's the other big thing to keep in mind. With no Cecil for Dragus, it's going to be a different person deciding Zeramos' speed.
Absolutely.
With Sid, you could put Sid in the middle, and it might not be Sid. You might go somebody else to get a 28 while Sid's at like a 17. Because I don't have that memorized. But something like that can give you just a little bit better turn decisions against Ramos and changes everything. Our Dragus is through the Odin fight.
And so is Schmitty. Now, is Schmitty going to go back? No, Schmitty's going ahead again. Dragus going to go back for the save.
That just really surprises me.
Dragus is going back for the save. So Schmitty's got the advantage in time, but Schmitty is doing a little bit of a grind here.
It might be a case where you try and get more for Cecil instead of less.
And this might be to gain just a little bit more HP for like Porum and Rydia and Palom to see if they can survive the Big Bangs a little bit better.
That or even their speed, because it's a question of relative turns. So getting a little more on them could change that as well.
A little bit slow on the first life potion glitch.
If things go favorably, you can get 2 of them off. But you certainly want to get 1.
Yeah, getting 1 is usually pretty easy as long as you kind of practiced it a little, but 2 is possible. Very, very specific timing required. Dragus is grinding on King Ryu's a little bit too, so both of them are doing a little bit more grinding here.
I think Schmitty's ready the first one back to Ramos. We'll find out if that's the case. Especially if that's 10 key items, and I'm not sure, but it probably is for Dragus. This is a lot of experience available.
And now Schmitty is climbing back up after fighting that trapped chest for a little bit more experience. Don't know if we're going to see any more grinding, but looks like possibly going to head back for another at least a save, I'm thinking.
Boy, if you had saved a Drain Sword or Dorfax, Cecil's Agility would be perfect right now. This is a seed where inventory space was at a premium, but I always like to hold on to one of those. Who am I kidding? I like to hold on to the Drain Sword. You never know when it'll come in handy.
I like to sell the Drain Sword. It's worth a lot of money. But in this seed,
sword, you could Zerk Cecil and get drained for the whole fight.
Yeah. I can't argue against you. I mean, what you're saying is true.
So now, question being, which of these two gets back to Zeramos first? Who's set up the best to do it? How long do they invest in trying to get more levels for it? How close to done is this race? It's a very good question. I even think the fight was winnable where Schmitty is.
Yeah.
With a little bit different setup.
Yeah, I think, and like there was at least one roll that was just really unfortunate for him too from the RNG. I think they're definitely it was definitely doable, but needed a little bit more luck and timing, and I think like use of the silk webs, things like that. I think.
Did he check all of the shops to find them? I mean, I'm on high alert for them anytime J items are on, but I can't say that's going to be true for every runner.
Yeah, one of my favorite items as well. Definitely better than diet rations.
It's like Mecha Link is going to go for the Twin Heart item. See, the other thing I'm thinking is it doesn't look like Schmitty has sirens. Or dragons, for that matter.
No, they're just walking around.
Looks like they have missed out on several of the J items. So this, by the way, another one of the spots, well, not exactly this, but one of the ways you can get a lot of experience we're seeing. The King Ryus are a great base experience monster. You can cast Weak on them, and you can life glitch them when you get the double encounter. So it's a lot of experience available.
And from playing a lot of vanilla FF4 as a teenager and grinding in that room a lot, I know that King Ryu, Jin Ryu fight is a pretty common encounter.
But with Sirens, you can get the guaranteed double King Ryu.
Right. Ooh, Drag is fighting the Tricker. It's weak against Thunder!
Well, it's nice for being a free fight, but his HP total is annoying.
Yeah.
Because you aren't going to one-shot him.
No. But Schmitty, after that grind, again, did not go back to save.
Wow. And being right next to it. I think that's just a case of maybe the race gets you locked into one thing.
Well, and I mean, I've seen Schmitty race many times, very confident in the abilities, but still, it's like, I think after one wipe, I'm just too, like, for me, I don't think I could do it without another save.
Yeah, just for me, the idea of where the crystal was dictated that I would reset. If it was a free spot, yeah. But I like to save before going to Zeramis anyways, just in case things go. I think she's in a much better position now than last time. And I thought last time was winnable, by the way.
Agreed. And, it's like one of those things where if it's a pass and you're just going to Toria, then yeah, it's like no-brainer, you just save. But here, like, you're backtracking a floor to get to a save point. Like, I can understand the first one, where he just went ahead right from the Ogopogo spot down, but after the wiping, going back and grinding in that room when you're right next to that save point, I would have saved.
Christopher Walken is working through the Slith Cave, which makes every bit of sense because it's the most items per location remaining, possible item locations remaining, but did not find the correct crystal, only a crystal shield. Mecha Link is now working through the Dwarf Castle, and it's a question of time for Dragus Cloud, working on getting the setup right before taking that crystal back to Zeramis.
And I think it's only fair to mention, we do have a first place finisher. Silver Star 6609 has finished in first place at a time of 1 minute, not 1 minute, 1 hour, 57 minutes flat.
Very much a GG to Silver Star for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if this is new to you, what's going on is, under the hood, This is the Zaramos fight. It is exactly vanilla. It's not been changed. But it's a change of the sprite. So we get to enjoy any variety of sprites. It's confirmed over 250. I don't think the exact number has been stated.
I think
There's a lot of potential fight.
I think it's best if that potential number remains shrouded in mystery.
So also worth noting that reflected white works quite well here. Just as well as reflected nuke. So got the first Big Bang nerfed.
Okay, here comes the second.
Now this is still the first Big Bang hasn't gone off yet, so the timing not as important. You just have to get a spell off that is countered. We've done that. But the speed is so different in this one.
I think this is the second Big Bang. I think this is an unnerfed second Big Bang. Yeah.
Okay, clearly based on those damage totals. I missed one.
Yeah, that's okay. These things happen. But let's see if Schmitty is able to recover here.
So the other thing you can do if you don't want to eat 2 counter nukes and you're using slow is you can reflect the slow. You can cast it on the wall instead of a nuke, and yeah, you're not getting any damage for it, but you're still slowing down Zaramos, and it's something I'm going to do if I don't have J items.
Sure. Oh, that was a low roll on that Big Bang. That was nice. That's going to allow Schmitty to have a little bit of time to recover, get back up to lots of HP. Even got a Moonveil to start reflecting again.
Dragus enters the fight, so we're going to get a good look comparison between the two, how their strats go. Schmitty's still trying to find a way to make this work. It's going a lot better than last time, I would say, so far. So Christopher now has finally gone to the Dappa Mount ordeals, and I mentioned before that the last chest might be the easiest to overlook in K4, K3, K4. I wonder if that's the case here, because if Christopher finally resorted to the top of ordeals. Or no, has Hook.
Yeah, Christopher's been...
Okay. Just was checking everything, I guess.
The interesting thing is that Dragus has never been to the underworld.
Well, that means no silk webs.
And that's why I think that's a big part of why, like, the party composition is quite different between Dragus and Schmitty in the same fight here.
Yeah, no Fusoya, but Rosa, definitely the better white mage.
Sid has a better HP pool too than Cecil.
Yeah, I think at this point, Schmitty might not be trying to keep all 5 characters alive, leaving Rydia to take a nap. That'll make Cure 4 stretch further, but now Fusoya, that low magic point total starts to show up. If you're using it for nukes and Cure 4s, okay. It's close. Nukes and Cure 4s will drain Fusoya's magic points pretty fast, but if we're in nuke phase, a full Meteor phase, a full power nuke will do the job.
And there we go.
GG Schmitty.
Yeah, and
our third place finisher, Chakasora, did sneak in with a second place.
Yeah, so Schmitty third place, the first of our featured runners to finish tonight. GG is absolutely to Schmitty for this fight. That was nice. And now Dragus. Seeing if can follow suit and defeat Zeramus here, or Mumus.
Okay, Schmitty should be joining us in a little bit. I thought Dragus was perhaps coming in with the better setup. Rosa able to live through a full power Big Bang definitely helps.
Yeah, and Rosa's HP pool is a big boon in the Zeramus fight for sure.
The other thing you could do in this fight is keep Sid's HP up and use fire bombs. You'd be getting 2k damage out of it. Yeah, it'd probably do more damage berserked though.
Yeah, and another thing, if this seed wasn't so rich with white mages, having him just being like a Cure 3 bot is also not always a bad idea. Even as like a backup white mage, if you're doing a reflect strategy, Sid can throw the Cure 3 on whoever is walled up.
Alright, Dragus, beautiful play there. Saw the shake and didn't go ahead and cast the nuke while the shake was going on, but canceled out of it to make sure the shake was done. That's important for getting the right timing to nerf Big Bang, as I got the lesson in the hard way a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it took me quite a while before I got my timings down on the nerfs. But I think there might have been a transition change, yeah, and you get a full power Big Bang there.
Well, that's a different story then.
Yeah. Because I didn't see the counter nuke at all from the, as you mentioned, well-timed one.
Schmitty, GG.
Thank you.
I have to ask one thing. How did you not save after the second time getting crystal?
I thought I did.
Okay, maybe we just missed it.
I rushed in the first time without checking agility, and when he shook twice, I should have just reset. But I had the crystal and I didn't save, so I said, lost that fight, and then the second time I got the crystal, I was going to farm up to 42 agility. I saved right before that, but then I got him one more level, and he hit 42, and I ran in, because I figured I was good at 42.
Alright.
Well, things seem to go well for you the second time around, that's for sure.
You were the first of our runners on stream to get the crystal, and based on what else we saw, I think it's safe to say you were the first one in the fight. Talk to us a little bit about the K4 insanity.
The entire time I was on the moon, I was thinking about checks in my head if I missed anything on the planet. I still think I missed something on the planet.
Silk webs, I guess. You never found the hook?
No.
Well, it wasn't in a very commonly checked spot, that's for sure. It was in the last arm chest in the Giant of Battle.
The Giant. Yeah. Any magma key yet?
Yes.
That was underground.
Yeah, the summon monsters.
Never getting underground that seed then.
Well, yeah, you and Dragus, who's currently in the Zeramus fight right now, neither of you found that hook and went underground. The other two featured runners did find the hook and have been searching forever and haven't gone down to the Ogopogo spot yet.
They took the bait, is what happened.
As it turns out, you are correct.
That's the rando way. It could have just as easily been bait on our end.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the nature of these K4 seeds, without a doubt.
Shop items weren't free. This seed would have been a monster.
Yeah, that would have been a rough starting party if you didn't get free J items and like free bows and arrows right away.
Drag
the
is
first,
still working on
30
this
minutes
Ramos
for me.
fight. Full-powered Big Bang hurts a lot.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for Dragus to recover from here.
I'll hop out and join the regular viewers. Thanks
Well,
for
thank
the
you so much, Schmitty. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
guys too. Appreciate you guys as always.
And
All
again,
right.
it's a good time to do some thank yous. So thank you, Randomania, for hosting us tonight. Math Girl doing the restreaming. Maggie, first-time tracker, jumped into a 4-way K4 race.
Doing a great job, too.
Nothing mild at all there. Please show some love to the runners and the hard workers behind the scenes who helped make this happen. Well, Dragus is still very much alive. And getting the lights off, trying to revive the party.
And this is the difference between a slower Zeramus and a fast Zeramus. You have the time to revive everyone, get that Cure 4 from Rosa off. This is something that first Schmitty fight, the luxury to do that just wasn't there.
Yeah, and you heard Schmitty say it, that he just didn't check the agility before going in the first time. It's not even a case where you're necessarily trying to make it perfect, but you also will try and keep yourself from being in a bad situation. And if you'd like more information about that, Discord can get very in-depth on these discussions, so anytime you'd like to know more, please join us there for questions that take a little bit more to get into the nuts and bolts of than we can do on these.
Yeah, a lot of the discussions that has happened in the Discord and the files that are available to help new players, there's so much information about this game and the bosses, and particularly the Zeramus fight. There's just so much going on in this game that I had no idea until learning this.
When I was first getting into Free Enterprise, we didn't have it so good. We didn't even know these quote-unquote magic agility numbers, or at least they weren't widespread.
Oh yeah.
But people have really been dissecting a lot of different aspects of this game as they come up in the randomizer, and so much more is known now. Alright, Dragon's still in good shape. It's been a slow fight, but it's slow and steady. Still alive, still dealing the damage. You'll get there eventually.
A Berserk, Zed, and a Rosa can get the job done. It wouldn't be the fastest, it wouldn't be the prettiest, but it can get the job done.
I don't think you're going to Zerk Rosa, but you might do it with Rydia. It's got a heroine on.
We just Bacchus went on Porum.
Yeah, again, it might depend on who you've got equipped with what. If you've got a heroine on, the arrows are going to deal a lot more damage. But Rosa is one you're going to want to keep available Cure for Light too. There's the shake, so if you're going to nerf, now's when you'd want to do it. Though it makes a lot more sense that we didn't see the silk webs now because Schmitty didn't have access to them without the hook, and I didn't realize that at the time, but it makes perfect sense now.
We have full-on 5 archers for Dragus.
Well, hey, when that's what the game gives you, that's what the game gives you. Would Dragus quint Zerk? I don't think so. I don't think you're Zerking Rosa in this scenario.
Yeah, I think the Cure 4 is too important.
Okay, everybody lived, and the HP is good. I think the max a Big Bang can do is roughly 2200, but you're probably figuring 1700 for a Big Bang. So when somebody's sitting at 1800, you're feeling pretty good about them living through.
Oh, that's a meteor.
Okay,
That's a
rough at the
nasty
moment.
meteor.
Oh no! Oh no! This could be bad.
Oh.
That is.
Oh no!
Hurts.
Meteor is usually the thing that you want to see the most.
Just not when everybody's on low health. Chat whatever emote you got for that one.
Holy mackerel!
Just not the right timing for Dragus for it to come right after the Big Bang.
Not what the doctor ordered for sure.
The good news is Dragus did save and is set up to go right back in there, but that was a really slow fight. It just feels like something was off. And sometimes that's what the seed hands you.
Well, I mean, Berserk archers will get the job done, but it is a slower fight.
Well, yeah, you're talking about, let's call it an 1100 to 1500 range. So if we want to average that at roughly 1300, you're probably talking about 100 arrow shots to kill Zeramos. Ish.
Rosa was not berserked. The other 4 characters were berserked, but Rosa was not.
That was just a case of not having enough time.
Yeah.
It's just because the Meteo launched right after Big Bang.
Right after the Big Bang. Yes. Did not have time to cure for between the Big Bang and the first Meteo. And the Zeramus Meteo often misses characters, but that time, hit everybody when they were at their weakest.
That's just textbook for the worst Meteo can do to you. Here we go with round 2. And I don't know what all resources Dragus has. Does he have ethers? It wouldn't have elixirs, I don't think, but do you have the ethers to refill magic points? You ought to be able to get the nuke strats off, but he's going Zerk strats right away.
Well, I wonder if the equipment draw from what Dragon's found is more suited to like maybe multiple heroines or something like that.
From the damage rolls we're seeing, I don't think there's heroines on any. With heroines, I would expect closer to, if not above, 2,000. But I don't know what Rydia's level is. Maybe it doesn't have nuke yet.
That could be.
Rosa, not who you want to see taking the counter nuke, but Cure 3s are a good thing. Let's take a look. So far, we've not had a 4th place finisher. And I think that's fully understandable on this one when you've got to get past Odin to find the crystal.
Not just Odin in the Ogopogo spot.
Yeah, I was gonna say is we saw that spot over an hour ago at this point, I think. That seems right. Say over an hour ago we saw that spot for the first time. And that was not one you're going to moonveil your way past.
No, it was definitely not like the Mist Dragon at the Pale Dim, where having 99 moon veils means I've got that fight in hand.
So taking the counter nukes, which means being much more active on the DPS, but as long as you're able to stay up with it, maybe you just berserk 2 characters instead of 4. Sid is doing very nice damage. Oh, that's just much nicer on the Big Bang rolls.
Yeah, you can see the difference between the nerfed and the unnerfed Big Bangs. For real.
I also like not casting nuke right away with Palom, but getting the heal off first. You know, that is one of the other things we didn't really talk about with these flags, is with the J2, the levels you learn spells at are a little different than what we might be used to in the American version. So, Peridia nukes at 55 instead of at 50. Or is it 50? No, whatever it is, but... point being, it's a higher level.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that, like, Rosa learns the extra spells like armor that aren't available in the North American version. We do have a 4th place finisher now, and Simbu finished in 4th place. 2 hours, 19 minutes, 14 seconds. GG's to Simbu.
I think in a K4 you're going to be perfectly happy with that time. Without knowing how the items break down, you're just going to be perfectly happy with it. Actually, with Cure 4s, you're just going to be perfectly happy that you finished them. Because here we are, 2 hours, 20 minutes in. You figure the average runner was probably getting at their computer, doing whatever, about a half hour early. So we're already at a 3-hour investment of time to do this seed.
Yeah, well, anytime you're setting up for K4, you better allot some time.
Yeah, if I'm running even the K3 casual, I'll usually plan 3 hours just to make sure I'm not going to have an issue. Dragus looks to be staying up with it well. We're going to do the arrow strats instead of the nuke strats. That's what you want to see. You want to see the heals coming up. You want to keep everybody on the high health. Nerf those big bangs, and know you're going to get there eventually.
Absolutely.
So our path to the end in this one, we had to go to Eblin Castle to get the Dark Crystal. Then that was actually the only thing we needed to find to be able to have crystal access, because once you got to the moon, it's the Odin spot that actually held the crystal. I'm sorry, not the Odin spot. Odin was the fight that held the crystal.
The Ogopogo spot.
There you go.
So yeah, Darkness Crystal and Evelyn Cave, Crystal and Ogopogo. You could have done this seed in, what, 5-10 minutes if you went straight there?
Well, no, you needed the levels to fight some too.
Yeah, it might have been a tough, especially starting with Edward and Rick. Oh, and Palom. Ridion Mount Hobbs.
Christopher Walken still bringing along Edward at this point in the game. stats can get very good at high levels, but I mean, you can see that right now, Edward's the same HP basically that Dragus's Rydia is.
Yeah, that's the... Like, his speed gets pretty good, but that HP draw is just not good for him.
Well, but he's not giving up anything on HP to Rydia.
Okay. Oh, that's a flash.
It's a GG for Dragus Cloud. He got it. 5th place with a time of 2 hours, 23 minutes, 17 seconds. Let's see some GGs, chat.
Very good job. Very different strategy for the final fight that Dragus used versus Schmitty. So I always like it when we see different kinds of strategies, especially in a fight that's like, you know what's coming at you with Zeramus. High magic damage, big bangs, black holes. But yeah, it's two different strategies, both worked out. So now Quest for Workin is the closest to the crystal right now of our two remaining featured racers.
And we should hear from Dragus here momentarily. There's different strategies that can get you past this Ramos fight. It's a good idea to practice a few of them, because you never know what party you're going to end up with at the end.
And if you want to force yourself to practice, I recommend doing C3s, where the game will force a party on you. And we also have a 6th place finisher with Rumblefish82, who finished with a time of 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 41 seconds. So GG's to Rumblefish.
Absolutely. Yeah, anytime you get through a K4, that's going to feel like an accomplishment, because it's such an investment to do.
Without a doubt. That's why I like being on this side of the mic for.
You know, I'm such a fan of them, I wouldn't have mind jumping in this one. But the call was put out that they needed to fill in tonight, and I was happy to do that. Happy to spend the evening with you here.
Yeah, I appreciate you joining me on the copy tonight. Maybe if it was V2, I would have wanted to do it. Give me a Forge the Crystal K4. Make it even harder. Can't get around not going to the underground and Forge the Crystal.
That can make some things very interesting when you play with some of these variants. I'm actually quite the fan of doing K3 plus V2. So your Darkness Crystal that you need to beat the game has to be somewhere on the Earth, obviously. You only need the one.
Right.
We're gonna have... Oh, there's Dragus. There's Dragus. GG.
Hey.
So, how you feeling about that K4?
Oh boy. All mages to start with, practically.
Oh, yeah, lots of archers.
Yes. Well, everyone became an archer.
Well, hey, when you have Artemis arrows that easy, it's understandable.
Mostly, it was mostly
You went to
samurai arrows.
that spot where Odin was and had to leave early, right?
Yeah, that one gave me trouble, and I figured I'd come back. And then it's like, no, you're where you need to be.
Yeah, you were the first of our featured runners to see the Odin in the Ogopogo spot, but it took you a while before you were able to come back and feed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time when you and Schmitty were really neck and neck. Then you did a little bit more grinding. Schmitty got into the Zerubus fight a little bit before you. But it was very close between the two of you.
Yeah, at some point it's like, there's not great grinding options that I could really want out here. But I still want some more health on characters.
Alright, Christopher now has found Odin. So has Mecha Link. We might actually have these two in pretty good sync. We actually saw that with you and Schmitty. Both of you ended up getting the crystal at similar time frames.
But I guess
both of you had to do the fight twice as well against the Ramos.
Yeah, that Meteor phase on Zeromus, that first time around, was one of the most tragic Zeromus fights.
Yeah, Meteor hit and like, oh boy, everyone's dead.
Yeah, usually Meteor is what you absolutely want to see, but that timing on it was like right after that Big Bang hit comes that Meteor. Like, you didn't even have the time to cure 4 in between. That was rough.
Yeah.
So I love the decision for them to both go save.
Yeah, saving is smart. Mecha exiting?
Exited.
I was not expecting that.
I was not either.
Going back to the
does Mecha want levels?
Well, while I've got you here, Dragus, did you have any final thoughts about tonight's scene?
Not really.
Well then, I want to thank you for joining us for the interview. And GG's, great job with the run.
Thank you.
Indeed. A lot to be happy with on that one, Dragus. You have a good night.
You too.
So a good point that Mecha Link actually has the pass. So faster to save out here, especially if there is a wipe as Ramos, it'd be a lot faster to go back.
Yeah, so quest for
the great level if you've got a Drain or Dorfax. Got a Dorfax, okay. This is going to be big. In theory, Mecha should actually have the easiest Zeramos fight that we've seen of any of the runners.
In theory.
Everything's theory until you get out there and try it.